Hello, I'm Rob Waddington. I'm here on Rutland Water. I'm a professional instructor and guide here on Rutland Water. But I love all my fishing. I love trout fishing. I love all sorts of fishing. And one of my main passions in my fishing life is Atlantic salmon fishing. Spend a lot of time in Scotland struggling to catch fish, but what I do now is I just save all my pennies and have a big week in the middle of the summer in Russia. Catch lots of fish. I love it. Just came back from a river called the Yokanga in July, and I personally got 22 salmon up to 20 pounds, all silver, beautiful fish. Those figures are unheard of in Scotland, but I just love it. That's what I do. Now today we're going to do a bit of fly tying, but we're not going to tie a trout fly today. We're going to tie a salmon fly. So I'm going to tie for you one of the simplest and one of the most effective salmon flies. It's a WILLIE Gunn tube. Okay, the WILLIE Gunn tube. We're going to tie it on a tube. This is a ready-made copper tube. It's got a plastic sleeve that goes in there. These come in various weights. You can get aluminium tubes, copper tubes, brass tubes, and even plastic tubes. But this one I'm going to show is on a copper tube. No hook there to tie it onto the vise, so we're going to use this special pin that we use for tying tubes. That fits down through in the middle of the tube there. And just to lock that in place, it comes with a little fastening device here, and this bit you can put into your vise. Okay, really simple fly. It's copper tube. I'm just going to put a body in, just going to tie a bed of black thread, tie it in at the head, tie it all the way down. You see what I'm doing. I'm a sort of a what would you say, an amateur fly tyer. If it works for the fish, it works for me. No touch and turns there. Just going to put a bit of a bed of thread there, chop that off. Now for the main body I'm going to use some black floss, thick sort of thread here, and the rib I'm going to put a bit of copper rib in. So I'm going to tie that in first. Dead simple fly, but very effective. Now with salmon fishing, I don't think it makes too much difference if it's not quite correct, if it's not textbook, or if you put your own thing in it. Salmon don't feed in fresh water, so if it looks something that they're going to have a go at, it works for me. This is going to be fine. There's the rib. I'm going to tie in the material for the body here and go all the way up to the head and leave that there. Now this is where I want to cover that body with this thread. Just wind it round, wind it round. Keep going. Could put this on a bobbin, but I've just got a little spare piece that I wanted to use up, so I'm just going to use this and wrap it round by hand. Good colours for salmon flies: black, orange, yellow, red. All good colours for salmon flies, and the WILLIE Gunn has every single one of them in it. There, that'll do. And then just tie that off. Snip off the extra. And then we come to the rib. Wrap that round and try and get it nice and even. The salmon don't realise if it's not even, but kind of gives you confidence if it looks good. And there we are, and I'll just tie that off. There you go, that's not going anywhere. That's the nice body there, and then we're going to tie the hair wing. Now, in the old days, you used to use all sorts of different coloured feathers and with exotic birds, endangered species. These days, we just use hair or fur from calf tail, buck tail, and we're going to tie that in now. Okay, now this is a bit of buck tail, calf tail, I'm not sure what this is, but I'm just going to take a clump of black here. Put that down, nice little pinch of black, going to put that down on the table there. Bit of red, I'm going to take a clump of this. If I can. Put that down over my black. Bit of orange. Yeah, I love this. You could use any colours, you can go crazy. Bit of orange, here we go. Just snip that off. Put that on the table. And a little bit of yellow. I told you it had all the colours in. All the colours in. I've used a bit of this, so I'm just going to get a bit that hasn't been used. I've got a pile of all the 4 colours, red, yellow, orange and black. And I'm going to just twizzle them around to mix them up. Mix them up. Sometimes you can put a bit more black in. Usually say with salmon flies, a bright day, bright fly, so more yellow on a bright day, dark fly, so more black in it on a dark day. Now then, a little dodge. We want these ends to be nice and straight. So I've just got a little bit of a container here, and I'm just going to put them in that end and just give them a little tap. And that's made it a little bit more even. Just take a few of those out. Look at that, lovely. All the colours that salmon fly like. Now long distance about that, so that it covers the end of the fly. This is so simple. I'm just going to wrap that all the way around the fly there, and I'm just going to bind it in loosely at first, and then tighter. Tight, tight, tight. Looks a bit scruffy, so I'm just going to chop this head off. And under. Making sure, of course, you don't snip the thread off, which I've done so many times I don't want to remember. Just going to tidy this up a bit. Just neaten it off a bit. Sorry about this. And then just build up that head, covering those loose bits. What I like to do at this stage, just to keep that wing in, make sure it doesn't come out, just gonna put a bit of super glue along that now, just to lock it in there before I finally finish it off. Build up a nice dark head. and then I'll whip that off. Nice neat whip finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7, doesn't matter, whatever you like to do. There we go. That's nearly finished. That's a Willie gun. Okay, there we have a very simple fly, salmon fly, a Willie gun, or a variation of Willie gun, my own version. It might not be textbook style, but the fish don't read those books. So it's got all the colours that salmon like. Good back end pattern for salmon, but it's not finished yet. We've built the fly, but we've got to put the hook on it. It's just a copper tube, as you remember. We've got a little plastic sleeve which then can push over the end here. That's going to support the hook. And what we do is we've got a piece of salmon line here. This is what you do on the riverbank. You put the line through the tube. Get your salmon hook. I like these gold sailor hooks. Nice bit of flash there. Tie your 5-turn half blood knot. Tuck it. Moisten it. Sorry about that. Pull that tight. And there we go, just 1 second. And that pulls into that sleeve there. And you've got yourself one of the best, one of the most prolific catches of salmon in the world. Totally awesome fly. Okay, there you have a Willie gun, the simplest fly to tie, and probably one of the best fish catching flies there is. We tie these short, long, you can get different tubes, all sorts of sizes. Very good in Russia. I fish these a lot in Russia. The breaking strain of leader, well, the rivers that we fish up there, you might catch a 30 or a 40 or even bigger, so I'm using 25 or 30 pound fluorocarbon leader. But a smaller fly, maybe a lighter leader, maybe 15 to 20 pounds. But there you go, Willie gun, fantastic.